Let's go, Boomer Sooner Nation. We got to power through this together. Let me know if this bowl game meant anything to you at all. Because Michael Hawkins did do some good things, obviously starting off a little RPO action here. And then you get Gavin Sawchuk here with the touchdown run. Finally, the Oklahoma offensive line steps up. You do get a little lucky here that the play side DT or the play side nose was actually twisting all around the end right here. I don't really know what that is, but I'm not sure if I like it. And 58 does a good job washing this DT completely out of the play. So look, all three of the defensive tackles are to the left of this hash. So all you need is just good blocks on the lighter players on the backside. You get exactly that, and Sawchuk is through pretty cleanly, and you get really, really, really good blocking down the field. That's excellent, excellent stuff, and you get a walk-in touchdown. And then we get a razzle-dazzle here from Michael Hawkins, rollout to the left, and man, this play gets absolutely insane. And while we watch it unfold, Oklahoma fans, let me know what you guys want to do for off-season content. It's going to be a very arduous off-season. Obviously, we are really looking forward to, I say we, you guys are really looking forward to this new quarterback coming in from Washington State. Tell me about Mr. Metier. And Hawkins, I think, is starting to think about running this, and then he's like, no, I got someone leaking all the way down the field, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, a little flick of the wrist. And look at where he actually ends up placing this football. This is one of his most accurate throws all season. Bam, right on target right here. And who is that? That's number 7, Kanik. I saw him selling his Danny Stutzman game-worn uniform. I'm like, goodness gracious, I would have bought that. I wonder if it's still for sale. Ridiculous touchdown, and it looked like Oklahoma was getting ready to blow Navy out. All right, so what happened to Oklahoma? Why couldn't they just pull away? You have a chance to do it right here, 2nd and 8. Little play-action rollout here. The goal of this is to hit the split zone right here, but Hawkins sees that it's covered, but he has an open receiver right here, and he just skips it. I mean, that's just really, really, really bad. Best fake punt you will see. Obviously, a few days ago, we saw, who was it that ran this, all right? So you could throw this with guys releasing down the field if the receiver stays behind the line of scrimmage. So the punter midair sees that this player is right here, so he floats it into this space behind the incoming defender. That is really, really, really gorgeous right there. And it's off to the freaking races. And right here, you thought for sure that Oklahoma was going to win this game. The heck this is. And obviously, this guy took a lot of criticism online. So it's an RPO double move. So Zion Reagans, who had a terrible game, inbreaker, and you're hoping that this corner bites and then it's a stop and go. It's just a one-man concept, and if it's not there, it's just dead. If you're Hawkins in this spot, if it is just one of these one-man max protects and you don't like anything, you could honestly just throw the football to the feet of a tight end or a running back here so you don't have to take a bad sack. All right, 4th and 1, and should Oklahoma have gone for this? Yes. I'm fine with 4th and 1, go for it. I understand in retrospect you would probably like a field goal here, but man, I just don't like this play. You know, if you're going to tighten everyone in and do all this window dressing, I think the fullback just needs to be closer, right? The benefit of giving the football to the fullback is that it's a little bit more of a quick hitter, but because this was such a drawn-out fake, it allowed players to adjust to Robinson actually getting the ball there. So it's an easy 4th down stop. It's when there's no fear of an intermediate passing game. They are playing zero coverage over here, so there's no safety up. It's man-to-man. They do not fear your wide receiver, so any interior run's just going to get stopped. And that's exactly what happens. Even if this was a pull read, Hawkins is getting stuffed, and they're just like, hey, we're going to force him to beat us with his arm. and he wasn't able to do that. So Oklahoma tries to go for it again, and once again, it's just spacing, right? You saw it a minute ago with the fullback. See how far back he is? It just takes a little too long, right? Obviously, there is, let's just say there was an RPO aspect to it. If you could throw it, you got the first down right here. But they were just ready for it. They're keying QB run the whole way. That was Navy's game plan. We're not going to let him beat us with his legs. All right, so you go touchdown, turnover on downs. Man, yeah. Once again, worst wide receiver group I think I've ever seen in the SEC, especially after the injuries. You tried a lot of these quick little screens. You just couldn't block it at all, okay? And it sets up 3rd and a gazillion. All right, 3rd and 16. I really do believe it. If Zion Reagans was a semi-decent freshman, this catch probably wins you this game. This honestly is really good quarterbacking right here from Mr. Michael Hawkins, okay? So you're back into the pocket. It's obviously a rush 3 simulated pressure, so you're bringing 1 blitzer here. And guess what? You get a DT on the ground. Now, Hawkins, if he runs for this, is he picking this up? No. It's probably interesting, though, if he decided to just tuck and run. But look at what he decides to do. He keeps his eyes down the field, and Reagans is running an in-breaker, and he's somehow, so he's a very small guy. His dig route gets impeded. I don't think that's pass interference. It's just the game is moving way too fast for him. Somehow he gets, I just don't even know how he got turned like this. Okay, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if he is just able to run a decent dig route right here, he's catching this, and there's nobody around him. Apparently, he ran a 10-1 100 meter or 10-3 100 meter or whatever. If he had that kind of speed, he catches this, he's scoring. Okay? Yeah, can someone let me in on why X-Rob didn't start this game? I mean, look at this run. Presses this hole and just finds a way through. I mean, that's really, really, really creative running for a first down. You get another big drop right here. It's 2nd and 10. I'm sorry, I kind of cut off the front of this play. He's wide open. Is this throw really bad? It's not terrible, but you see, when you have to crow hop into every throw and make sure it's wide open and you're that slow with it, look at how big of a crow hop this is with the footwork. And then you see he's already open right here, okay? So if you're throwing the football now and you're allowing to hit him in stride right here, he's scoring, okay? But you see, he rolls out of here and has to reestablish himself, has to throw on the run, and guess what? The ball is behind him, all right? Now, guess what? He still should catch it, especially if you're wearing 7, a prime single-digit number right there. But that right there obviously ends a half. 3rd and 3, OU fans. We have had such a great year together. If it's in your heart's desire, please drop a donation, Venmo, Cash App, at Card of the Power, or the Super Thanks button always goes a long way. Man, I don't know if Brent Venables is the guy, because offensively, I understand the talent is just so putrid, but part of that is on him. I understand the injury bug is what it is, but, so much of your offense this year was just the quarterback run game, and this right here is a really good razzle-dazzle spin move right here from Michael Hawkins. But if the quarterback run game is your entire offense, then well, you're just not going to win a whole lot. All right, 3rd and 5, really good play call, bad execution. I do think if Hawkins, and this happened a few times, if you're running QB draw, I just want you to get downhill a little bit quicker, all right? And he's just not able to. If he is getting through this a little bit quicker, he's making this guy right here miss, who was cut block at the beginning of this play. But if you're Hawkins, you've got to make this guy miss. If you do, or if this is executed a little bit quicker, you might be picking up this first down and then some, but you punt, and this is where things started to fall apart. Yeah, so we're mostly focusing on the Oklahoma offense, but this was the biggest play of the game. You have a zone read action right here from Horvath, and 26, your safety right here, is thinking, hey, this ball was actually handed to the running back. I need to get over here and help with the motion, and there's nobody there to tackle Horvath. Now, before we get to this also isn't good right here from the interior, all right? Honestly, this is really well designed. I mean, this is typical Service Academy stuff. Down block on this interior defensive tackle. He needs to do a better job of getting over the top of this block and not getting sealed this badly. You should at least be able to slow this down some versus Horvath. And you see, when you get sealed that badly, 10, who's a really good athlete, gets cut off from you getting dominated that poorly. See, he's got to go through that traffic himself, and, well, it's off to the races. So, that was such a bad defensive tackle play. Yeah, it essentially took 2 players out of it. Now, it just comes down to a foot race, and this is never good that a quarterback was able to still outrun all these DBs from the 25-yard line. Someone save a horse, ride a cowboy to save Mr. Horvath. Goodness gracious. Could have pulled out 12 red solo cups. Trying to think of every country song, obviously. That was Toby Keith, big OU fan. I got to think Blake Shelton. Old red end zone. Either way, it's really bad. All right, a strong case can be made that the Oklahoma wide receiver room is the worst I have ever seen in the Southeastern Conference. I saw my buddy Alan Kinney tweet this out before this play actually happened, that any target for Zachary Reagans goes for 3 yards less than what it should go for. So you get a really good flea flicker right here. Reagans does a good job selling that he might be blocking, and then he's running right by him. Okay, you get a really good blitz pickup from Sawchuk and a really clean pocket, and Michael Hawkins puts this right on Zion, and guess what? He pulls a Williamson and drops it. Now take a look at this 3rd and 7 completion. I really, really like this from Michael Hawkins. He's sitting in the pocket and allowing his guys to run their routes, and this is honestly a really good zone beater. A drag with a little hook behind it. Normally this hook is run behind mesh, but it could also work just with a singular shallow drag. The only thing about this from Hawkins' vantage point, he's only a true freshman, I'm not expecting him to do this, is how much he crow hopped into it, right? This could have been thrown with more anticipation, but he does do a good job sitting in that pocket and waiting for it to open up to pick up the first down. All right here, you get a huge touchdown run right here with Michael Hawkins. He pulls it. The problem was there was a hold on this guard, and that is holding. It just is, okay? Normally on these long runs of holding, it's just phantom. It's not really holding. But if you're this guard right here, your only job right here is to make sure he doesn't cross face. It is hard, but if he would have just attacked him upfield, this touchdown is still going to be good. But it was a good holding call, and it's brought back. 3rd and 11, and they bring a slot corner blitz. This is near impossible for an offensive line to pick up a blitzer coming from this far out. So Hawkins does a good job seeing him. There's nothing open, so he keeps 2 hands on the football, makes him miss, and then finds a rush lane to run through. And obviously in a foot race, he's going to beat almost every single person you could think of. It was a good block right here from Tatum, the running back, and Hawkins picks up this first down on a scramble. Really freaking good stuff right here. Okay, 2nd and 10, and once again, the worst group of receivers I have ever seen in the Southeastern Conference. This honestly is not the hardest block in the world to make, and, well, 88 can't make it, right? He's able to run right through here on this quick little screen, and it sets up 3rd and a mile. All right, 3rd and Atkins crossing, and I think Oklahoma this year situationally didn't do a good job calling plays. So you'll see on this play, they run all deep routes. You don't want to run all deep routes in this situation, especially if they have had a lot of these exotic blitzes from slot corners and all of it. And also, since your receivers are terrible, right? So I doubt they're going to get open versus receivers and DBs that are just sitting right there at the sticks. So you're not giving your quarterback anything easy. And the good thing is, let's just say you shorten this yard to gain on fourth down. It makes it a more manageable field goal, or you could just go for it. But right here, Hawkins slips out. The protection did break down. So he does a good job just running. And Sawchuk does an even better job of, on the scramble drill, giving Hawkins someone to throw the football to. And, well, take a look at this. It is bang right there in his hands, and he drops it. Okay? You catch that, you might actually pick this up, or at least make this a more manageable field goal. You kick the field goal, and you miss it. All right, 4th and 6. Let's go to the game-winning drive. And this, honestly, it's just good quarterbacking right here from Michael Hawkins. All right, it looks like it's an all-out blitz, but they actually back two guys out of it. And this is a good job by Hawkins, waiting for 87 to get into this window, throws the football right on the money, and it's a first down. If he was able to break one tackle, he's gone. All right, let's get to this 3rd and 5. Let's get to this 3rd and 5. And are you kidding me? Michael Hawkins leading a very nice drive. Now, once again, it's not as impressive since, they're playing so much softer here. But good stuff right here by Hawkins. Once again, Zion Reagans is not the best receiver in the world. It took him forever to get through here. And he waits for him to open up. And, yeah, could that have been delivered a half second sooner? Sure. But once again, Reagans has to drop down to a knee. He didn't need to, and you lose this extra bit of yardage right here. All right, so Hawkins hit a nice 2nd and 8 completion on the left side. I think Oklahoma was out of bounds when he caught it, but who cares? Now, they're bringing, once again, a zero pressure, right? Blitzes all around. Man, you just can't take a sack. You just cannot take a sack here, and all you have to do is just throw it away. All right, you're not going to be able to run out of every last little thing. And what does he do? Well, he runs into a sack. Ugh. All right, 3rd and 17, and man, ugh. I understand Reagans had a bad day, but he actually does get open here. Hawkins starts off looking left and then decides to throw the moon ball to the right. Once again, it takes him forever and a day to get through progressions, and this ball just has, you can just kind of see, even though the angle is kind of cut off, this ball just has way, way, way too much loft on it, and Reagans has him beat pretty bad. Even the DB was like, oh my God, I got lucky. Called a hold, and didn't really look like much to me, but we get to here, and man, this honestly is really, really, really good stuff right here from Hawkins. Now, it helps out that his first read was this, but look at him lead 88 right there. Bang. Okay. Once again, if he was a decent athlete, you break that tackle, you score, but there you go. All right, so this is a really, really, really good play call. So all game, you've been showing a lot of like quick screens into the flats. So this time, instead of having 87 block, he looks as if he might be blocking this into the flats, but he's just running a little wheel, and he's wide open, easy pitch and catch. No quarterback is missing that throw ever, and it's a touchdown. Now, let's talk about the Venables' decision to go for 2 and the win on the spot. I don't think there is as much value in this in the college game when it becomes a 2-point conversion contest anyway pretty quickly into the second half. But I also don't mind it at all. Call your absolute best play and see what actually happened. I hated this 2-point conversion play. I really, really, really did. All right, so you had a timeout to discuss this. You really did. And I just don't like putting Hawkins in this spot where he has to make a very difficult read and throw. I'm still trying to figure out what the actual play design was here, okay? Was it to start off looking... I doubt the ball was designed to just go into the flat like that for an easy 2-point conversion and win. I was guessing you start off looking right, and then you look back to the left, and there's just nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. Now, something does open up right here, and once again, it's Zion Reagans, all right? Once again, he was getting crushed on Twitter. Number one, this just isn't a good route. Okay, we need you to get off of this guy quicker. And you see he's just staying with the contact way too long, and it slows down his route on this shallow drag across the way. Maybe if he gets through here cleaner, Hawkins can see him right here for the game winner. Okay, now the second thing is full slide protection to the left here with one running back to the right. I actually think the RB here makes the right decision because you can see the DT stops. So once he stops, he picks up the slot corner blitz. And in this spot, if you're 70 and you feel that he's going off, peek back to the right to see if there's anything there. If he peeks back to the right, maybe he gets over here to this DT and is able to pick him up. And guess what? Hawkins would have time in this pocket to find Zion Reagans for the win. Okay? The one thing you can't do in this spot, if you're Hawkins, is roll out to the right side. Now, why can't you roll out right here? Well, there's no routes being run to the right outside of whatever this is into the flats. So buying time to the right side just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And you saw this in the film studies we did during the Auburn game where he had, and in Tennessee as well, he had opportunities to throw to open guys into the end zone, but he miraculously was able to run it in and have like helicopter spins into the end zone. But, in this spot, if anything, I need you rolling out to the left. That's where your routes are, okay? So maybe if he rolls out to the left here, he can buy some time and he has Zion for the game-winning touchdown. The thing that sucks about it, and it wasn't a surprise if you're an Oklahoma fan at all, is that he doesn't even give it a chance. It's just a nasty, nasty, nasty sack. And this play obviously summed up the Oklahoma season in a nutshell. Obviously, defensively, you had that one bad play. Overall, you were pretty dominant. Other than that, they had a short field touchdown and a really good touchdown in this fourth quarter. But, man, I don't know if the offense with Mature and the new young SEC offensive coordinator coming in, I don't know if that's enough. But you guys let me know, Oklahoma fans, do you not care about this result at all because the team is basically going to be brand new? But I will say this. I don't know, and you guys know I like Venables. I don't know if he can field a good offense. I really, really, really don't. For this to get, even with all the injuries, to get this putrid, man, there are so many like elite 4-star, 5-star level recruits that played so unfreaking believably bad. It makes you wonder if he can coach offense at all. Also, give me your thoughts on Hawkins. Would you like him back as a backup? I mean, there is obviously some decent, but mostly just quarterback play, but obviously he's just a true freshman. Oklahoma fans, I want to go next year for the LSU game. Give me some tips on what I need to do to make the trip to Norman, baby, for Thanksgiving. It is Power Hour SEC. Boom! Floating in your face some other fun videos, and tonight we are doing steaks.